Hi and welcome to my channel The Stitchy Wife. I'm Elisabeth and it's once again time for a Friday sews out in the nature, hence the wind and all that, but I hope you stay put and share this Friday evening with me. Welcome to all of you that are new here, and very welcome back to those of you that have been here before. I'm so grateful for all your continued support, and I'm just glad that you are here, as that you knew are here, and I hope that we will continue to grow. And I love sharing what I'm doing in the sewing and crafting world here in my little corner of the world. I live up in the north in Sweden, and at the moment we have a wonderful Scandinavian summer out, and it is varying quite a lot because I think it was last week we had thunderstorm and rain and about 10 degrees, but today once again it's 20 degrees and it's not hot but it's warm, and it's lovely to be outside, even though it's a bit windy, so I'm sorry if it's disturbing in any way. I've tried to use the microphone and I hope that will help with the sound. First off, thanks to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating Friday Sews hashtag. It has been an incredible help for all of us newbie YouTubers, as I still call myself, and we have something to as a guide. If you search for Friday Sews here on YouTube, you will find a lot of amazing YouTubers sharing their sewing journey with you. So please try that if you haven't. And as I said, I'm so grateful that you are here and want to share my sewing journey. And well, this week it's been quite an off week, to be honest, or actually the last 2 weeks. Last week was my Friday Sews. Last week ended up to be a Tuesday Sews, and it was a pattern review of the new Sovi sundress from Sew House 7, a dress I really like, and it is so great. It's such a great piece to have both to dress up and dress down, even though I don't need to dress up a lot, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I really like it. I will insert a tag up here somewhere so you can check that video out if you haven't already. And today it will be a little bit about my life and my sewing the last 2 weeks, really, since there weren't real Friday sews. The last time we saw each other, I was out here too, and we were celebrating midsummer in Sweden. And time really flies. I can't believe we're already 1 week, almost 2 weeks in July. No, 1 week. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. That felt good, that I realized it was only 1 week. But yeah, is it the 7th or 8th of July already? Well, that is it, and all we can do is take care of the time and cherish each moment we get, as I so often say here. And there is quite a lot going on in my life and in my family's life at the moment regarding my illness and the near and dear around me that are having quite a rough time. So I have to sew in, what do you say, in batches. Is that how you say it? I have 1 or 2 days where I sew incredibly much. I just bang my head almost in the table and just sew. I just I can't stop, because then I start to think, and I don't want to think at the moment. I just want to sew. So if I'm a bit all over the place today, more than usual, I'm guessing that you that know me say that right now. But if I'm even worse than normal, you know why. So what have I been sewing? Well, one thing that I've been doing is the thing I'm wearing. This, you can only see a small, very small peek of it. Well, this is I would call it a swimwear cover-up. I will insert pictures here, and I'm incredibly self-conscious about doing so, because all I can see is my bruises from the nursing poking me with the needles, and yeah, a lot of things. I see a lot of scar and I see a lot of bruises, so please be kind. I won't bother trying to edit it out, because you know already, and I don't feel ashamed for you. I just don't like to see myself at the moment, and I guess you all can relate to that, unfortunately, because we live in a culture where it is a lot of comparison, and I try to avoid it, but some days it doesn't work that well, and but I thought I would have to get over myself and try and do it anyway, because this is about my sewing journey, and this was something that I sewed, and I really like it. I like it so much that I wear it, like tonight, too, just with my Oiler shirt on top of it, and I think that would be great too in the beach or so, to have this cover up as just covering up your bathing suit, and then if you want more coverage you can add a shirt on top of that, like I've done. I'm sorry, the ants are biting me again. That's the outdoor in Sweden, but I'm glad we don't have any dangerous animals here, so if it's not worse than an ant, I should not be that worried, right? I'm guessing a lot of you have a lot more dangerous species around you, so I should be grateful for the ants. Well, that was that beach cover up. I'm thinking about doing some kind of tutorial on YouTube about it, because it was such an easy make. I don't know where I got the idea. I have had the idea for quite some time, and I've been umming and ahhing about it and don't know how to execute it, but I think I figured it out now, and I actually did not have almost any wastage. Or the only fabric that I wasted was the very small piece here, and the extra bias binding that I made from the same fabric. It's made out of viscose jersey. But please let me know down below in the comments if you want me to do a tutorial, and in that case I will be happy to do so. I've also been working on another cover up. I don't know if I will have finished it once I publish this, so it's only with bias binding left in the neckline, so I will share that too, and that will probably just be a picture of the thing itself, because it is basically a towel with a neck hole in it and bias binding around the neck to create a knot. But another great and versatile piece. I really like it, and it's a real palette cleanser, because you, at the same time as you have to create some kind of a pattern. It's not a real pattern because you don't measure on that, but you know what I mean. Just to figure out how to sew it together, you don't have to think. So it's been easy to sew, and that's what was I needed. Something else I've been doing, I think I did these two dresses in one overnight sew, so to speak. I had day or 2 days with a lot of prednisolone again, and that made me not sleep, and I sew when I don't sleep most of the time. If it isn't too bad, then I sew. And this time I sewed for a night, and all of a sudden I decided to I found 2 different, I think it is simplicity patterns. I will insert pictures here, and the other one after that. One is for woven and the other one is for knits, and it's such 2 very, very easy patterns and 2 great patterns. I don't sew from the Big 4 that often, but I'm gonna try and do that, because even though the Big 4 are extremely expensive here in Sweden, so I don't buy them, not at all. I could probably say that, but I have some old ones, and yeah, I will try and sew them up now and then, and we'll share that with you. But I will insert them here, and I will insert pictures of what I made. I made both dresses, and I made one of the, what is that called, shrug almost, just something to cover up your shoulders more or less. It isn't more advanced than that. Very easy constructions. I will try and do the other cover-up that was in knit. That is something that I actually think I would be able to use as almost as a very thin cardigan kind of type. I don't know. You'll see. You get what I mean when I'm showing you the patterns and what I made so far. But it wasn't very easy, so I did a size medium, so I sized down one size. I did not follow the suggested pattern size. I was supposed to be large, but I checked the finished garment measurements, and that was way too big. So I decided to go down one size, and that suited me perfect. In the knit version, I almost could have sized down to a small, but at the same time, I wanted to be flowy. So yeah, that is one more thing that I've been doing, and then I've been doing a very easy pattern test this week. It's almost like a remake, I would say, but you will understand when you see it, because once again it's a great pattern, and I am so grateful for the pattern test I get to be part of. That is such a good thing, and something that I know is going to be a great pattern. I'm so excited for it, but that I'm not allowed to share yet. Finally, I have a question for you. I need help. I have 3 meters of this wonderful bamboo, what's it called? Is it called terry cloth? No, it's fabric for thick nightgowns and towel fabric, you know what I mean? Bamboo, I think it's called terry cloth. I actually think that, because when I search on the Google Translate, it says terry cloth, so I hope you get what I mean. I will insert pictures here. I couldn't get it outside because it was too heavy and too big. But I want some kind of robe, and at the same time I don't want the regular standard ones with the tie in the waist, because I think it gets so bulky when you use this kind of fabric. In the wintertime I really like it, and I know you probably think I should wait and do this in the wintertime, but at the same time I need something when I get out of the shower. I need something when I get up in the middle of the night and my Udi is actually too hot, because it is in the summer. And I want to make something of this beautiful bamboo towel fabric. And I remember my mother and my grandmother used to have some kind of bathrobe that had a zip down the middle. I even think my grandmother had a yoke up top here somewhere, or in the back. I don't remember, and I can't find any inspiration pictures. Do any of you know what I'm talking about? Because I think it is a 70s thing, and I think I have locked my brain completely. I think I'm just stuck and just thinking that this idea is something I want to recreate, and I don't know what to do. So please help me if you have any ideas. Can you hear the birds? Don't you just love it? I just love being able to be outside. Can you hear it? Huh? Yeah, it's beautiful. Well, ideas please. What do I do with this beautiful bamboo terry cloth? And as I said, I need something that is easy to zip up and that is not too heavy, and it's, I don't know. Help me. Just help me. I need you. Because I really would like to have something to cozy up in, but at the same time it should be easy. Do any of you know what I'm talking about whatsoever? Does anyone remember seeing something like that from the 70s old patterns, or is there a vintage pattern I could search for? Yeah, any ideas welcome, and I will try and keep on searching for Pinterest and see if I get something, and I will tell you next Friday's house. I am also continuing to edit my 2 sew-alongs that are coming, I promise you, and my makes video for June and my plans for July. They are all filmed, but as I said before, my computer is not what it's supposed to be. So if any of you would consider supporting this channel a big amount, what do you say, a lot extra, or what do you say? I have actually opened a Ko-fi account. I talked about it in a couple of videos ago, but I feel so silly because I haven't given you much content for creating a Ko-fi account. I realize that, but if you would consider it, I would be so grateful, because the computer is starting to be a necessity. Unfortunately, it's taking too much time to edit, and it's so hard, and we're trying to figure out a way to get it to work, but yeah, it's not working at the moment at all. So but it's coming. The plans and the makes video is something that I'm trying to edit on my phone. It is, sorry, the ants. It isn't working that great, but it's better than nothing, and it isn't that difficult as the so-longs. So yeah, but it's coming, I promise you. I will continue to work on it. It just have to take time. That's simple as that. Well, on that not sad note, but not so fun note, I actually think I will leave you. I just wanted to check in and talk to you. I needed to talk to you, and I needed to feel like you're there, because I know you are, and thank you for that. As I said, it's been a tough week. I just love the interaction with you. You have started to mean so much to me, and yeah, I hope I can share things with you that you like and that you get inspired by, or that I can help you with something if you... Oh, sorry. The ants are good for distraction, that is for sure. I'm probably going to leave these pieces in, I'm sorry, but I just think that it's quite funny, actually, because I think it's the same ant. It probably is. It just continue to bite me. I will finish this off with a few pictures of my incredibly beautiful flowers that are blossoming at the most now. I've been sharing them with you from time to time, and I thought you should be the first to see how beautiful they are turning out. Thank you for listening to this rambling Friday Sews, for this not so happy Friday Sews, and thank you just for taking the time to being a part of my life. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and promise to love. Love yourself and love each other. That is the only thing this world is about. I just wish we could remember that more often and cherish every day you get. Promise me that, please. Take care and have a wonderful Friday evening and a wonderful weekend wherever you are. I hope you get a lot of sewing, thinking about sewing and planning sewing in, because that is good for the soul. That I know for sure. Bye for now. I just had to share my squash plants with you. They are exploding, and I don't know what to do about it. It is way too small bag, what do you call it, a way too small area for it to grow, but it is just growing and growing and growing, and it's really looking like it's coming. I don't know what to do, and I don't know when to harvest it. Do you guys know? And look here, that is spring onion, that is parsley, that is chive, that is 2 tomato plants that all of a sudden got planted by mistake. I probably had 2 seeds on my finger, and this is what it turned out to be. So it's amazing. And then we have here, we have lemon thyme, we have a lot more chives and a lot more parsley, and here we have oregano. So yeah, a lot is growing here.